Hi guys, it's Slam here. I just thought I'd bring you some news regarding Sharpedo, Camera, and Glade. They've all got megas in this next gen, and a lot of people have been hyping about it today and stuff like that. But a lot of people have been doing videos like, yeah, they've been releasing stuff like that. And no one's really talked about how they're going to affect the battling side. So that's what I'm going to talk about now. I'm just going to go through them one by one. I've started off with Mega Sharpedo here. He has a lot of some pros, but he doesn't really seem like he's going to be that great outside of UU. He gets a speed boost ability, of course, pre-mega, and pre-mega really is classified as a UU cleaner, which means basically he can just finish off weakened Pokemon. So that doesn't really put much, you know, admiration in my mind as it is already. He's not really going to be doing anything where he has to, KO something straight off the bat. Um, Not really that much. He does get all of his stats do get increased though, but I'm guessing they're going to be just like he's wearing a life orb, so it's going to be like just like using normal Sharpedo, except instead of the speed boost ability, you get strong jaws instead, which does benefit Crunch. It's one of its stats, which is great. And also Ice Fang benefits as well, gets that 50% boost. But I'm not really sure about its longevity because before it even evolves, a lot of the Pokemon that already beat it, do actually one hit it. With moves like Keldeo, for example, can actually one hit Sharpedo with Hydro Pump before it Mega Evolves. So I'm not really sure how those stat increases are going to help it defensively, and it might help it a bit more offensively and defensively, but still it needs to beat the common stuff in OU or even stuff in UU for that matter for it to even be more than just a cleaner Pokemon. If it uses Crunch, Ice Fang, Waterfall, and probably Protect to get a speed boost up, it's going to lose EQ, which means straight off the bat, Toxicroak can come in anytime it wants and pretty much wall this thing for days and beat it, which is not very good. And if it tries to be running around in OU, this Keldeo to deal with, like I've already mentioned. It just wrecks it everywhere from Sunday. It can come in, on anything and take a hit. You can take two hits, in fact, and then reply with a Secret Sword and absolutely destroy it. Or, like I mentioned before, it can even Hydro Pump the pre-Mega one to kill it. I'm not too sure what its stats will be after Mega Evolution. It might just about survive, but pre-Mega it does about 98 to 110%. So you'd have to get quite a boost in its defensive stats to even be able to survive a Hydro Pump as well, which is not that it's not looking that good for not Camera, sorry, Sharpedo in OU. So I don't think he's going to jump up from UU. As well as the fact that pretty much any tank in OU as well as UU does pretty much wall it because it has no way to increase its attack stat. All it can do is just keep getting speed boosts and then which is nothing really because tanks are normally quite slow and they're made to take a hit. So unless it gets something like Swords Dance or something like that, I don't really see it being a threat at all. Its biggest threat, of course, is its pre-mega setup of the speed boost. Um, and without it, it's pretty terrible to be honest, unless it's able to outspeed things, and like Scarf uses and might want to revenge kill it or something like that. And the problem with that, of course, is its biggest threat being pre-mega setup is that you have to go for a protect or try to get a waterfall off on your first turn. I don't know, predict correctly, because if you lose that one speed boost and you decide to mega evolve after that, you're not going to be able to get a speed boost back, and you're going to have a very, very useless Pokemon, unfortunately, which might as well just be a normal Sharpedo. Um, the verdict of what I've made it for is I've made it. I'm going to say it's still going to remain in UU tier. I don't see it going too high because there are bigger threats in UU than Sharpedo. I don't see its ability making it that much stronger. Um, really, it's only going to boost one of its stab crunch. Waterfall does not benefit from it, and it has to use unstab Ice Fang to really threaten most stuff. When it should actually probably be using Earthquake, since it's going to be UU. It's going to need to be able to be Toxic Croak, like I said. Yeah, and lots. So and too much things force it out for my benefit. I've been looking at calcs and stuff like that, and it just does not do enough damage. Even when I've given it a life orb in its normal state, just to roughly guess how much damage it will be doing when it mega evolves. With strong jaws as well, it's still not doing enough damage to anything. I might throw some calcs up on the screen for you. So yeah, I've said it's going to remain UU. Best. I don't. It's going to be low tier OU this used at all, but definitely a UU Pokemon Sharpedo. And next we're going to come on to Mega Camerupt. Uh, on Mega Evolution, it dumps its kind of its alright abilities, and it gets Sheer Force instead. Unfortunately, it does get less speed, and it's already very slow Pokemon. But I'm questioning maybe that will increase its bulk. Uh, it does get access to rock polish, of course, via the technical machine. Yeah, it does get a decrease in its speed uh, on Mega Evolution, which makes this even more questionable because it's only about 40-45 speed now. If it drops it about 10 or maybe 15 or 20, you're gonna have to set up at least two rock polishes to outspeed pretty much anything, to be honest. Despite its new ability, it's still beaten by pretty much every water type. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate after that because people are going to say it's 4 times weak to water. That is not what I'm talking about. I don't care if it's 4 times weak to water. I care about the fact that water types are normally quite bulky, and they are its biggest threat because it's 4 times weak to it. I've tested multiple calcs out to see how much damage you can do, but unfortunately, everything can come in. Every water type can come in and take a sheer force, earth power, and then respond with a bubble and KO it. I mean, obviously not a bubble, but it will be a pretty strong water type to beat it, especially in Mega Form. But it just with the lowered speed and and just the fact that sheer force doesn't give it enough oomph. I raised its attack, its special attack as well to about 140, which is what I was guessing it might be, because it's going to get definitely defense and special defense boost and an attack boost. As well as the fact that sheer force makes it doesn't really make it that much of a threatening mix attacker. Um, because Earthquake doesn't gain from sheer force. You'd have to go for Earth Power for the stab for sheer force, and of course you can go for Fire Blast though, and get a very strong fire attack off. But on the physical side, if you want to run a mix set, your best bet is going for Rock Slides or Stone Edges, which actually makes it pretty good for VGC doubles, of course, camera up because it's very bulky. If you have uh, camera up, say if you had like one of the camera ups and a Gastrodon on the field, so every water attack just can go straight to Gastrodon, that'd be great. And it would do a lot of work in that aspect. But as Smogon singles go, I've given a verdict of borderline 2 at best. Uh, its attack boost might make it a bit more of a threat than it already is. I think it's in RU. I hope it's still in RU. It might be NU actually, but then it might just be RU instead. But it's not going to go too high. Don't worry about that. It's I'm really questioning why I put it borderline 2 to be honest, because it's not really going to be that much greater than normal Camerupt, and unfortunately normal Camerupt just isn't that great apart from like choice scarfed eruptions, which you can't do with Mega Camerupt as well. So I don't think it's going to be that great, and it might get a few uses on teams where people want to use it just because they like Camerupt. But other than that, I don't think it's going to be a threat at all, guys. You're not going to have to worry about this one. Mega Sharpedo, we're gonna have to worry about that a little bit in UU, but like I said, I've just mentioned a few lower tier Pokemon. Well, Keldeo's a lower tier, and pretty much any tank you can find or any fighting type in the lower tier can actually beat Mega Sharpedo. So it's not really that much of a problem, considering the fact that it has no sword stance, no way to boost its attack, and Waterfall isn't really that great when your best hit, of course, is being resisted because you brought in a fighting type or a fairy type or something like that. It's not that great, guys. Unfortunately, it might look cool, but it's not going to be that great in tier, so don't worry about that. Camera up, like I said, it's going to be not even going to see it. I bet. I doubt you're going to see it at all. Maybe at the start when they bring out third gen, but I don't think you're going to be seeing Mega Camera ups around for much. And last but not least, we're going to get on to My personal favorite of actually the three that they decided to do, and arguably the most obvious of the megas. They should have just brought this out earlier. I don't know why they waited so long to bring this out. The fact that they have Mega Gardevoir in 6th gen, they should have just announced straight away that Mega Gallade would be in the Hoenn remakes. Uh, so yeah, Mega Gallade is arguably the biggest threat that I've seen so far out of the released Pokemon. Uh, from CoroCoro. It gets access to Swords Dance and Bulk Up, so straight off the bat, any kind of Mega Pokemon that gets access to a setup move, as well as increased stats, it's not going to be a very very good time. Its current ability is not confirmed, uh, or that I've seen, and well, pretty much any ability will benefit it as it has access to everything you need move wise. I mean, it has Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Fire Punch, it has close combat. Um, so it's Psycho Cut. I'm not even sure if it's going to remain fighting Psychic. It might do Omega. It might go fighting Fairy, which would be pretty nice because that might open the option up for it might get Pixelate just like Gardevoir does, and that would open the option up for a Pixelate return. Pixelate return in close combat, it's going to do a lot of damage. It's a lot of stuff, and if it follows the same stat growth of Mega Gardevoir, because as everyone knows, Gardevoir and Gallade, they do have the same stats, just opposite on attack and special attack, pretty much. So if it gets the same stat growth as Mega Gardevoir, it will get 165 attack and 100 speed, which does make it an OU threat just by those two stats there. You don't need to know about its defense or special defense, but it's nice to be able to take attacks. But Gallade was never really meant to, so it's going to be fast. 165 attack and 100 speed, which does, like I said, make it an OU threat, and it will see some usage, actually more than likely quite a bit. Uh, its speed tier is pretty average for OU though, which opens it up for revenge kills by anything higher than 100. Like Garchomp, who can't one-hit KO with Choice Scarf, Earthquake, but will one-hit KO with a Life Orb or a Choice Band, and there's nothing really Gallade can do about that except for you know except for try to deal with Garchomp with the rest of your team. And Keldeo, for example, obviously is going to come in and do quite a lot of damage with Choice Specs, Hydro Pumple, whatever people really want to run on Keldeo because it's so damn good. But it will, of course, one-hit all those Pokemon if they want to swap in. They are not counters; they are just revenge killers. I'm not really sure what's going to be able to counter Mega Gallade that well. It's going to mostly be about prediction with this thing. It's going to be quite tricky to swap into. Unfortunately, though, because it is at the like average kind of speed tier, um, a few of the more threatening things in OU do give it a problem, especially when they come in back in for that revenge kill. And yeah, that's about it, guys. I'll look into Mega Gallade a bit more, but I think it's actually going to be quite a big threat in OU. You're going to see that around. Depending on its ability, it might actually get itself banned, but I'm hoping not because it just looks quite cool. And it's the opposite to Mega Gardevoir. It's Mega Gallade, the one we've all been waiting for, the one we all want to use, and it will definitely jump up to OU. It will definitely be a threat. 100 speed makes it, massive threat considering it hits the average for what I consider the average for OU anyway. It definitely hits the high end. There's not much more than 100 speed. There's just a few things like Garchomp, Keldeo, Terrakion, which can't swap into anything, and Terrakion is shaky at best at beating it. Um, uh, I mean, it could close combat with Choice Band, but it still might not do enough. And other than that, I can't really think about much else that want to swap into it. What's more than you could get Gengar, normal Gengar, I guess is OU, and the Sludge Bomb could do quite a bit if he goes for fighting fairy typing. Hmm. Yeah, it doesn't really seem like much would want to swap into though. Gengar definitely doesn't want to swap into it at all. Even taking a return or a possible knockoff, could be bye bye Gengar. And yeah, pretty much anything faster than it, you've got to sort out the rest of your team and then just sweep from there. Mega Glade's going to be a big problem. But I hope you guys all like, comment, subscribe, and share, because I'll bring out more information on how I think the meta's going to shape as soon as I get it for you guys. So